Welcome back. President Trump is fighting back. The Supreme Court will now weigh in on Trump's eligibility to run for president. The court agreed to take up Trump's appeal to the Colorado Supreme Court in an expedited track. Oral arguments are expected by February 8th and then a ruling soon after, as Democrats in Colorado and Maine are seeking to keep former President Trump off of the election ballot. As New York Attorney General Letitia James is stepping up her pressure in Trump's civil fraud case. In a filing on Friday, James is demanding that Trump be banned for life from the state's real estate industry, as well as he and his business associates be fined $370 million. That is, of course, an increase from the $250 million that she was originally seeking. Joining me right now with the reaction and response to all of this is Alina Habba, attorney for former President Trump. Alina, thanks very much for being here. A lot to handle here. First, I want to ask you about the special counsel, Jack Smith. What is President Trump's reasoning for wanting him to be held in contempt?
Because he is in contempt. He has clearly ignored the court's stay of that decision. The decision is completely disregarded. Just like anything, these radical lefts are really pushing their own agenda. What happened was there was a stay in the proceeding. That means that all actions, all activities on that case must stop until the issue of presidential immunity is addressed. That means that the president would have immunity during the time as he was sitting president, the same immunity Biden and Obama and everybody else gets. He should be afforded that immunity. That decision needs to be made before there can be any activity on this case. Jack Smith has completely disregarded the Washington court's decision to stay pending the immunity decision and has continuously filed motions to inundate our team and disregard the law. It is a clear contempt case. I know that if I was sitting as the counsel doing that and filing motions, I would be in contempt very quickly. I would be sanctioned. So let's see how they hold the cards on this one. But to me, it's a clear-cut contempt motion. And,
of course, Jack Smith is responding to this, saying that they did not violate a court order by providing discovery ahead of deadlines and that Trump's quote-unquote recycled allegations of partisanship and prosecutorial misconduct remain baseless. Where is this going? These issues are headed right into politics as we are now just 8 days away from the Iowa caucuses.
Yeah, and they're not heading into politics. They started with politics, Maria. This is all rooted in politics. The fact that you look at the lawfare that we're going through, and if you look at the timeline of these cases, these activities happened while he was sitting as president, most of them. So they waited, investigated for years and years and years. And then they say we are in a rush to get to trial. Why are we in a rush to get to trial, Jack Smith? Because you can't win the election. So this is how they have to do it. It's called election interference. It's political lawfare. It is 100% political. And what they're doing is doing it at critical times. I have a trial coming up. I have closing arguments this week, all while Iowa is going on so that the president is taken off the campaign trail and into the courtroom. Well, it's so obvious and pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, right. When you're in a trial, you've got to be there. So he can't be on the campaign trail. That's it's right. A very important point that you make. What about Letitia James and her stepped-up activity? How are you handling that?
So Miss James has, in my mind, always been a bit of a fame-hungry human being that has put her politics, again, in front of the interests of the New York state, like she should be. She decided after a trial where we had experts say that statements were undervalued, where we had experts who were on the Nobel Executive Committee reference team tell the judge that he did nothing wrong, that his statements actually gave too much information, and there were no victims, and Deutsche Bank said, hey, we loved working with Trump. He actually paid his loans off early in many instances, if not on time. We all made money, and he overinvested in the properties, the assets related to the mortgages, and he was a great client. After that, she thinks it's time to up the ante on how much he should pay. She wants to completely wipe clean the bank account of the Trump organization. She wants to hurt individuals who have done nothing wrong. She wants to disgorge them of their severance pay. Imagine the lengths she is going to personally hurt Trump because she ran a campaign on going after Trump and she has to keep her political promise. It is so sick and sad, honestly, for New York. I love the state of New York. I should say I loved the state of New York, but I have real concerns for any business that is doing business right now in the state of New York under Letitia James.
Well, it's pretty incredible that Trump built his empire in New York and now she wants him banned from the real estate industry in New York. It's pretty extraordinary.
That's right.
What is the president expecting, President Trump, from all of this? I mean, he's still campaigning. He was obviously campaigning in Iowa just over the weekend. What is he expecting in terms of all of these legal issues and how he's going to make it to the finish line in November?
You know, he's remained positive, sometimes more positive than I am. I think that he would like to think that judges still have the ability to take politics out of their state of mind when making decisions on these cases. Ms. James, for instance, on Thursday will be closing and giving summations. The judge there, we've seen, you know, put a gag order on me, put a gag order on the president, all the lawyers. We hope that he will see through this. Sometimes when they push so hard, they make it obvious that their agenda is really not about law and justice. It's about politics, and hopefully these judges, I really do hope these judges will see through that. In the meantime, he's going to continue campaigning like he always does. The man really barely sleeps. He works so hard for the country. He now, more than ever with all of this, has seen how important it is for him to get back in 2024.
All right, Alina, we'll be watching all of it. Thanks very much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.